Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See detail.
When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouthwatering meals. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices. Plus, extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with points. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
At Sierra, discover joyous deals on great gifts for everyone on your list. Like cozy slippers, ski gear, fishing poles, bikes, large kayaks, even larger canoes. Whew, which might lead to another discovery. Wrapping gifts is the only sport you need to stay fit this season. 'Tis the season to discover great gifts at unexpectedly low prices. Sierra, let's get moving.
Thanks for choosing this free Anfield Index podcast. If you'd prefer to listen to this or any of our other shows without adverts, then now's the time to check out Anfield Index Pro. With AI Pro, you can supercharge your entire listening experience. You'll not only get all of our podcasts without the ads, but you'll have them far faster with our Quick Publish feature available exclusively for subscribers. AI Pro also puts you in the heart of our sound studio, with an option to listen to many of our shows live and interact with the podcasters in real time as the shows are recording. Upgrading couldn't be easier. AI Pro is available on all popular podcast platforms. Just head on over to AnfieldIndexPro.com and get started today.
Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Molby on the Spot. I'm Trev Downey. I am podcasting to you from my field here in beautiful rural Ireland. I'm joined by my friend and yours, the Liverpool legend, Mr. Jan Molby, to once more talk about why the Reds are top of all the leagues. Good evening, Jan.
Yeah, good evening, Trevor. I hope you are well. It's been a pretty eventful week with so many things going on.
Things are going on, as we were talking about just before the mics went live, and very much so in the football as well. It is a remarkable time to be following this team, and we don't want to take too much out of early tables at this stage, but it's very, very rewarding to talk about what the most recent thing is, which is the Champions League game. It's very rewarding to see the Reds sitting there, not necessarily the fact that they're 2 points clear of everybody else, considering the standard of team that's in it, but more, Jan, that it's 4 games, it's maximum points. It's exactly what you had been pretty much feeling was likely to happen. And one of the 2 games where we could probably afford to slip up is now under our belts. And we've got the other one of the big games, Real at home, looking increasingly positive because of Real's form too, as well as our own. So it's a very healthy position in this competition. We'll talk about the league later.
I know. I mean, obviously, it was impossible to knock Real Madrid because of what they've achieved over the last few years in the Champions League. You know, as much as we look at them, we try to, but in the end result has been right, hasn't it? So you've got to tread careful. I was never overly concerned about the group game against Real Madrid. I always felt being at home that we could put up a good show. I was looking forward to Real Madrid turning up with Bellingham in top form and Mbappe in top form. And, you know, because you don't want teams to come to Anfield and underperform and you go, well, you know, you want to beat them because you're better than them, isn't it? So, yeah, Real Madrid, I'm going to say they're no great shakes, but they're not doing well at the moment. And I was looking at it, obviously with the game coming on at the weekend, and there is some clubs right now who are having a little bit of a struggle, yeah? So you look at Arsenal, I think they've lost 3 in the last 4. City have lost 3 on the bounce. Aston Villa have lost 3 on the bounce. And then you got Real Madrid. And I was looking, I was thinking, Arsenal, Martin Odegaard out injured. City, Rodri. Manchester, Aston Villa sold Douglas Rees. I know a lot of people said they'll be okay. I said I'm not so sure. And Tony Kroos had retired at Real Madrid. You know, I can't have a good team without a good midfield, Trevor. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So I'm looking, I'm thinking, okay, you know, these teams have really been hurt by the loss of one player in a key position. You know, and it doesn't always have to be one player. You can solve it various ways. Arne Slot being a good example, isn't it? But I just think it's so fascinating in that there's no secret that Arsenal's most important man is Marcelo. There's no secret that City's most important man is Rodri or whatever. And then all of a sudden, I mean, who is our most important man? You know, it's a bit more, isn't it? You know, we played without Mo, we played a season without Virgil, whatever. And so I don't think we would make suffer to that saying, although people would say with the Virgil season, but there was a lot more people injured. The people had to replace Virgil were injured too, weren't they? That was a bigger problem. So I don't know, but I just think that it's playing havoc with those teams that misses a main man in the middle of the park. And I don't like saying long may it go on, you know, because I want all players to play as many games as they can in what is a short career, isn't it? But I think it's fascinating.
It is, and you know, you mentioned the idea of full strength Real coming to Anfield. I think we're all in that same boat. Well, no, we probably aren't, but I'm right there with you. That's what I want to see as well. But it is fascinating to watch City struggle. It is fascinating to see what's happened to Arsenal of late as well, and it's really not sitting well with an awful lot of people. And I don't know, this is not social media. This is just mainstream media, the kind of stuff that I'm sure you come across. The conversations that I've seen, Jan, it's hard not to feel a little bit insulted as a Liverpool fan, because the conversations I've seen repeatedly between the high-level pundits in terms of their exposure, not their knowledge, like your Nevilles and your Carragers and people like that, and various other panel discussions I've seen involving journalists like Miguel Delaney and the likes. They're talking about Arsenal still, and they're talking about how Arsenal may or may not still be in it, or do or don't still have a great chance. And then they refer to City, and it's like Liverpool doesn't exist in these conversations. It's really odd, because it's not like it's that long ago since we were sort of untouchable as a team in terms of our league form over 2 seasons or 3 seasons. It seems odd. It's odd. I can't put my finger on what's going on here.
So the first thing with pundits and high-profile pundits, and equally the same with journalists, because we've now had more high-profile journalists than we've ever had, because of the exposure that they get, and then they go on Sky Sport News and whatever. So we more or less know what they all. So a lot to do with that is pride, Trevor. You know, everybody wants to be the one who called it. So exactly. So obviously, I always say before every season, the safest thing to say before every season is that Manchester City's going to win the league. That's the safest thing, isn't it, Trevor? Because that's the most likely outcome. But I think we're all getting a little fed up with their dominance. So you want to be the one to predict who's going to do it next, isn't it? And I think some people are digging their heels in, you know, and they're going to go, no, I'm going to stick with this, you know, because you're halfway there anyway, aren't you, to make a mistake. I mean, I make no bones about, I said at the start of the season, I felt that possibly City and Arsenal were the 2 best teams in the league, but that has changed now, hasn't it? But that's how I felt at the start of the season. So I think that has a lot to do with it, Trevor, isn't it? I mean, people don't really want to back away. But if you look at it, so we've got the weekend, Arsenal go to Chelsea and the way they're playing, I struggle to see them winning. They might not lose, but I struggle to see them winning. That could put them 9 points behind Liverpool with the games left. I mean, already you would say that's impossible. You know, the kind of run they would have to do, unless Liverpool implode, you know. So the interesting bit is still Manchester City, isn't it, Trevor? Do you remember last week when we spoke about, you know, and I was talking about, I'm not necessarily a big stats man, but the underlying stats were telling me that City were getting away with it. Yeah. You know, and you kind of think, well, they keep getting away with it. Well, they haven't, have they? They've been found out. And I don't think that's about to end necessarily. I'm not suggesting they're going to carry on losing every game, But I think there's going to be hiccups from them, Trevor. I think there's going to be hiccups. So now is the time to go and create that gap that makes them lose interest in the Premier League.
Yeah, that's the one, isn't it? That's the one, is to demoralise them. I know it sounds ruthless, but that's literally what professional sport is about. When your opponent is down, you gotta finish them off and open up that gap. And to have the opportunity to do it is remarkable. I was feeling, and it seems daft when you look at the record of 14 wins and 16, and one draw against the title rival in inverted commas, and the solitary loss against Forest, and it kind of sticks in the craw. You're like, Jesus, imagine where we could be. But I don't know, Jan, when you look at what Forest are doing in the league. I was
just going to say that, Trevor, but you don't necessarily want to play Forest again, would you? This team should rather play, isn't it?
Yes, that's it. That's it.
You don't want to. You say, okay, you don't want to go to the City Ground this weekend, do you? No. Because they look at the moment like the real deal. So you go, I'm going to step away from that one. No, okay. We played them, we lost fine enough, but even if we have to play them again, you couldn't be 100% sure you'll beat them because they are doing well. They defend them well, low block. It's something that's a little bit against the grain, isn't it? Because most teams now play with a high defensive line and whatever, and they don't. They play totally different. And they got a good old-fashioned, 6'3" centre forward, and they play to his strength, So good luck to them.
Absolutely good luck to them. And like I say, when you have the context of how well they're doing, suddenly it just makes everything about this season and the run that we've gone on under the sky look so much more impressive. And we can flick back to the weekend game. I mean, first of all, the league match at the weekend, what were your thoughts on that before we dwell a little bit on the Champions League match, because it's more recent in people's memory. But just what was your takeaway from that?
Well, I thought the first half we were pretty poor. We didn't really get going, and neither did the atmosphere. And I overheard analysts say that after the Champions League game, somebody said something to him about the first half performance, and he said, yes, he said, I'm now going to do my halftime tour before the game. So that's a good idea. That was sitting on with everybody. That was sitting on with everybody. So yeah, first half we didn't really get going. Maybe some credit is due to Brighton. I like the way they played. So he played through the lines, he played out from the back, technically very good. And in the second half, I think possibly the news that Manchester City were getting beat, filtered through to the fans, and then they all of a sudden, it's like an unexpected gift, isn't it? Everybody just got into gear, didn't they? And then, we managed to get the goals to beat them. It wasn't a convincing performance, it wasn't a convincing win, but it was a typical sort of Arne Slot performance, wasn't it? We get the job done. We don't expend unnecessary energy. We didn't go chasing late on to score again. We just sat on what we had, so it's get used to it. There's no need to suggest that we're going to win games 3 and 4-0. I know we did on Tuesday, but there's no need to suggest it because it doesn't look like that is necessarily our aim, is it? Our aim is to get over the line, see it through, move on to the next game.
Yeah, I had a weekend with a few social bits and bobs going on with the family, so oddly enough, I wasn't able to do my usual hosting job on the league match. So I'd done the Carabao Cup game in the midweek, and then I was off for the Saturday, and I was so relaxed thinking about Liverpool. I was out washing my car because we had to do the next day, and I fucking forgot that it was the time it was, and we were well into the first half. It was over, actually, and by the time I got to stay and watch it, and I actually couldn't believe the state of play. I couldn't believe the situation that we found ourselves in. But what I saw in the second half must have been wildly different, because we did look like we had our act together. We looked like we did a couple of nights ago in the second half, where we step it up. And this is a thing I've noticed with the Slot era team, is that, yeah, we play within ourselves, and that is deliberate. You've spoken about that before. He's spoken about himself. It is deliberate. It's to keep a measure of control as much as we can. And it feels like we're playing within ourselves. And sometimes it feels like we're unnecessarily inviting teams on and under a little bit more pressure than we should be. But here's the thing, Jan. Again and again, you see Virgil cutting something out. Ibu constantly intercepting things, winning the battles that they have to win. You see the fullbacks covering across. A couple of great examples in recent matches of Trent coming right across the byline, Tsimikas going the other way, Robbo going the other way. It seems to really be working. There is a coherence to it. And then, here's the point. We seem to have gears, man. We seem to have gears that we can go up into. And I don't even feel, maybe the second half in the match in the week is possibly the closest we've gotten to top gear under Arne Slot. But it always feels like there's more to come from this team. It's a very exciting feeling, the potential that's there to get better.
So a couple of things, Trevor. You're like my late father. We're going out, so we're washing the fucking car.
We're washing the fucking car.
No. Where's that? Well, we're out tomorrow with the family, so we're washing a car. There's not many people who do that anymore, Trevor, but I do admire you. So, yeah, no, absolutely. Well done on that. So, I never think things are as bad as people make out. I really think things are as good as people make out. And I kind of think that was maybe the reaction a little bit on Saturday against Brighton, where now in the aftermath that we'd won 2-1, people say the first half was the worst half of the season and all that. And I thought, yeah, it was a little bit below, isn't it? But was it really that bad? And then there were obviously one or two players that didn't play particularly well, isn't it? But I never think it's quite as bad as it is. It's not till you hear other people describe it in the past. Sometimes, we're talking too many headlines. You want to make that one statement, isn't going, it was what it was. I mean, I played football, Trevor. I know what it's like. As a player, you have these halves and you come in and you don't make any, you just go, it was just one of them 45 minutes, isn't it? It was neither good, it was neither whatever. We got another 45 minutes to put it right. And so it was kind of one of them games, isn't it? But the thing with it all is that, so we played two good teams, Brighton and Leverkusen. And while we are athletes in those games, they're part of those games. And when we're good, they're not. That's how I look at it, isn't it? And I said that about Leverkusen, and I said that to everybody at Anfield on Tuesday. And they all go, "What do you think? What do you think?" I said, "Can't see it." I like Leverkusen, but I just can't see it. And then at halftime, everybody's going, "Ooh," and I'm going, "Yeah, but we haven't been particularly good." I said, "Wait till we do, whether we do 15 minutes or 30 or 45 minutes, we will sort this out, and we did in the end, So I think that's just. I don't know whether Arne Slot attacked things in the same manner when he was at Feyenoord. I guess he wouldn't have, because he wouldn't have had the quality. I think he would have had to ask his players to be at it a lot more than what he asked. I just think he can play around with the Liverpool players a little bit more, tactically. Now we do this, we sit back, we keep possession, we don't allow the opposition into game, allow the games to become wild games. Some people call them basketball games now, don't they? End to end and whatever. We don't allow all that. And then we just know.
I don't need a VPN. I've got nothing to hide. This is what I used to tell myself before I hooked up with LibertyShield.com. Not only is my home internet now fully encrypted, but I can now access all the websites I want, whenever I want, and do so from absolutely anywhere. As a Liverpool fan, I love to know I can now watch every match, regardless of whether it's on UK TV or not. My Liberty Shield VPN makes sure nothing is blocked and guarantees me super fast streaming speed throughout that match. You can get connected right now with their software package, which includes a 48-hour no-obligation free trial and instant access to their apps for Apple, Android, Fire TV, PC, Mac and Android TV. Or go a step further like I have and get one of their pre-configured VPN routers. These small but powerful devices allow you to easily connect every device in your home to VPN, making it the perfect solution for smart TVs, Mac boxes and games consoles. Visit LibertyShield.com today and use coupon code AIVPN25 to get 25% off at checkout.
It's game time. And if you've got a hunch about this NBA season, you could turn it into a big win on FanDuel. Because right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win.
Ooh, that guy's hotter than a microwave burrito.
Now that's a red-hot hunch.
21 plus and present in Ohio. Must be first online real money wager. $5 deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable bonus bets that expires 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/campaign to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be, to be.
Again, on Saturdays, Mo Salah, that's not a chance, is it? But you go, isn't it? It's like, a nice little pass in it, but I think Brighton would have been quite happy where they were defensively. They're in a good position there. Man, it's in the back of the net, isn't it? So that's what Arne Slot probably didn't have at final, those players, those moments. And without being harsh on Liverpool, I think we're more of a moment team, aren't we? And maybe we're on the clock, because on the clock it was like, it's coming, yeah. And there was a build-up of 5, 10, 15 minutes. Now we're just a moment team, and we go bang, bang, and it's done, isn't it? So, the moments fall, they fall to the right players against them.
And there is that lovely fluidity in the play, the bravery to play out from the back, even though your heart might be in your mouth on occasion. You see fellas willing to push a pass into someone's feet, even though there might be two around them. They trust each other, which is a remarkable thing to see. It's a very heartening thing to see. I love to see football being played in that way, as if lads are out in a training match, trying things. And the speed at which it's done as well is fantastic. But like you say, we can also pull the plug, sit back, and allow the opposition to have the ball without the panic that used to induce. Because you're right, in the Klopp era, we were all about, we have all the possession. That's just how it's going to be. We'll rock up and we'll probably rack up about 20 plus shots a match. And that was the average, especially in Jurgen's last season. I remember watching it. It was, if the shot count ever dropped below 20, we had probably been doing something wrong. And yet, I don't ever feel like we were definitely always going to win those matches any more than in this particular era, because of the moments. Like you say, the moments are there and the players are there to execute them. I wanted to pick out a couple of people because I'm curious to get your take on it. And again, just in case people get wildly defensive of their favourites, and I'm only bringing this up because I'm actually genuinely curious. You mentioned that Brighton are a good team and Leverkusen are a good team, and for both of those games in a row, Tsimikas started at left back, and it's hard to see now that that's not some kind of a statement from the manager that he's actually got the shirt. Am I wrong in thinking that? I mean, there could be things going on behind the scenes we don't know about, maybe a little niggle or something, I don't know.
Well, there possibly could be. I have to be totally honest. It wasn't necessarily one I saw coming. I think we all saw Robertson last year struggling a little bit. He wasn't himself, doesn't seem to have the same sort of energy anymore. Although he's got an edge to him, John, and I like that. That edge, that edge that tells you whatever he's doing at the moment, this boy used to be a top player. But I guess based on what we saw last year, you always think he'll be back. Just that's how you think of your heroes, isn't it? You go, he'll be back. Robbo will be back, and he'll do everything he can. But of course, some problems in pre-season. Maybe didn't get the work that he needed. But then you're still thinking, but who's going to replace him? Joe Gomez as a left back, because I thought that Tsimikas trained at left, and I just didn't think that he would be the future. But with a different way of playing, and with Tsimikas' qualities, he's good on the ball and he sees a nice pass. He doesn't get as exposed defensively with his lack of pace and maybe his little bit lack of physicality and whatever. So it's actually working quite well. I mean, when I speak to people, they're sort of saying that what do you think will happen in January? And we spoke about this last week. I don't think necessarily a great thing will happen in January. Although people say, we need a left back, we need a left back. Yeah, we do. We probably do need a left back, isn't it? But is it definite? I'm not so sure. So yeah, it is a strange one. It's always that. I mean, I hope that there's still plenty of games left for Robertson and Anfield, isn't it? Because, you know, as I said before, he's just one of the good guys, isn't he?
He's one of the good guys, and he's got so much goodwill. Nobody's in a rush to see anything happen in terms of him being done. It would be nice to see, you know, a couple of games in a row where he's really to the fore and he has that energy level and the quality and the end product and all that. I think what most people are a little bit worried about is him getting caught out a couple of times defensively, and whether that is a thing that happens when you hit a certain point with recovery pace. Who knows what that is? It can be a little bit intangible at times. There are a couple of other people I want to look at as well, but just before we do that, it's funny you bring up the people speaking to you about getting a left back. What did you make of Hincapie's performance in the night? Because I thought he did really well, and I made the mistake of pointing this out. I thought he did really well against Mo Salah, and I think people thought therefore I was criticising Mo Salah's performance, which clearly I wasn't. I just thought he did really well. Mo's a world-class footballer, and this guy he stuck with him, real doggedly stuck with him. Went way over the line at times, overly physical, like everyone gets away with being with Mo Salah because he's so strong and stays on his feet and can ride those tackles. He gets all sorts of, I think, unnecessary manhandling, and it's never, ever punished. But I do think that's a player there, that lad. I think he has a bit of dog in him. I think he's also a good footballer, and I liked the way he went about his game. That said, a couple of moments where Mo does get away from him, bang, bang, make all the difference, you know. So I was just curious to see, because he was one of the names on that list that we were looking at.
Yeah, he was. I think a lot of people have had a look, and I think Leverkusen were delighted that he managed to keep hold of him. You know, I guess maybe not in January, but next summer he'll be one of the ones you go. I like him. Do I worry? I slightly worry. You can see people do well in other leagues across Europe. I just wonder whether he's already at his max. You know whether is there more in him. You look at players and you go, I think there's more in him. And I look at him and I go, is he already at his max? So I do worry slightly in terms of that. But having said that, almost what he's showing now would be good enough to be not an improvement necessarily, but good enough to be part of our squad, isn't it? So, but then again, it's a question. If Liverpool Football Club look at him and they go, there's more on him, yeah, we like what we're seeing, then we're prepared to pay whatever the fee's going to be, and I guess he's going to be a few quid, yeah. If you look at it like I do, and I would probably go the other way, Trevor, I'm thinking for the money involved, I wouldn't put my life on him being able to play in the Premier League every week with the intensity and the physicality. And I know it, but intensity is also to do with reacting, isn't it? Did I tell you about Brentford the other week when I spoke to Brentford?
No.
And they were talking about, so Brentford, when you look at their players and where they sign players from, you know, and they take it from everywhere. He said, but we've signed a couple from Liverpool. And they go, the difference, not in technical ability or physical ability, in reacting, seeing things, reacting before everybody else. And it's not seconds, it's a split second, isn't it? And they go, and that's like Vandenberg was the big one, he said, compared to our other defenders who've done really well ever since they got promoted into the Premier League. He said, but he just reacts quicker, he sees things quicker. It's just a choke, what he said. So they've almost rethought, instead of buying players from lesser clubs and whatever, they've almost rethought thinking, but taking the players from the big clubs, the ones they don't want to use, might just be the way forward. You know what I mean?
That's really interesting. Yeah,
it's interesting because what they struggle to do a little bit, Brentford, is bring these players in and sell them on. That's what they want to do, ideally. Yeah, Brighton do it, but Brentford haven't been able to. what Brentford with injuries bring the players in and do well for them, but they missed that last little bit, haven't they? You know, and I think they're looking at that and thinking, already now they're thinking, Seb Vandenberg will go in 2 years' time for 40 million. Yeah. You know, that's what they're thinking already. So I think their rethink might be, you know, we got to have a look at the big clubs and some of the players that they don't want. He said, just the difference, he said, is just unreal.
That's fascinating. And it's, you know, to follow on the intensity thing, a guy who had very promising beginnings and rose to the rank of Arsenal captain and is now in the opposition against us there the other evening, having sort of reclaimed his career that had gone badly wrong. Almost, I think, as much for psychological reasons as anything else at Arsenal, whatever falling out there was, whatever attitudinal stuff there was. But Granit Xhaka with Leverkusen sort of reinvented himself, seems to have been very central to what they're doing there. And yet when the game really got going, you said it earlier on, when we're playing well, who can live with that? Who are the players who can live with that? And I was looking to their star names. I was looking to see, well, is this Florian Wirtz guy someone that we could break the bank on? The kid who played with Union Saint-Gilloise last year, Boniface, that they signed, we played against him. We knew he was a handful. Is he someone that's one for the future? But obviously, I was really watching Xhaka because I was interested to see, well, look at this, reclaimed career and watch this performance. And it did seem to me that when the game's intensity ramped up, he wasn't really there, Jan. It was, I don't know, maybe I'm being harsh on the guy. I don't know.
No, I don't think so, Trevor. And there's a lot of things in that when the intensity is ramped up, isn't it? I mean, one thing is obviously being able to keep up with the game. One thing is being able to spot things quick enough, isn't it? And another thing is to be able to play the full, whatever it is, 95 or 100 minutes. You know, how many players have got less ability because they're not used to. Don't forget, when you come from Liverpool, you're used to that intensity in training every day. You're used to that quality in training every single day. So you can never ever switch off. So you look at the Leverkusen players, you mentioned Granit Xhaka. Obviously, he's of no interest to anyone now because of his age. Boniface, he's being linked here, there, and everywhere. I have a feeling that Boniface might be one of those players that everybody keeps talking about, but nothing really happens. And we've seen those players before, haven't we? People go, why haven't you took him? Why has nobody signed him? I think he might fall in that category. And look at the wing backs. I know Ronaldo or left back. He's getting on a little bit. So and Jeremy Frimpong, who you can't help but watch Frimpong because he's so quick. But then you kind of go, is that it? I mean, you take his pace away, and the pace is never so decisive in the Premier League as it might be in other leagues. I mean, I think the boy at Chelsea is a perfect example of that. Mudryk, I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a faster player, but he has no impact on games. Doesn't so? It's not enough, is it? So I like Leverkusen. I think he's done a great job. They are what they are. They'll find it difficult this year with the Champions League and to finish in the top four. They got some really good players. I hope they get a bit of money for them because Leverkusen is not about doing a Liverpool and dominating and being part of it for years. It's about having a good team, selling a few of them, and hopefully being able to reload this. And so, yeah, I wish them well. And it was nice to see Alonso back. He's a nice kid and he's destined for the big job. I think there's only one big job left for him now, isn't it? Looks like the Real Madrid job, you know what I mean? So, yeah, good luck to him.
Interesting photograph, which got all the usual lads having a big cry of Trent and himself having a bit of a chat on the way off the pitch. And, that obviously means, he'll be at Real next year and Trent will be at Real next year. And you know what? As the season goes on and the lack of progress and the things that I'm hearing from various people, I think that's entirely possible. I am more and more content, despite Mo Salah with his little naughty tweet, I don't know if you saw it, talking about how it's important for us to win and all the rest of it, and saying he's not sure what's going to happen in the future, the usual footballer stuff. It could have been seen as a very clever ploy to put the pressure back in the club, to give the man what he wants, especially on the back of a match winner and a match winning performance. the numbers he's put together so far this season is 9 goals, 9 assists. It's outrageous. It's really outrageous, and only a kind of freak of nature like Haaland is going to be able to live with that over the course of a season. And over the course of many seasons, I saw his goals and assists are very comparable to Thierry Henry, a legend of the Premier League, and yet Mo is never thought of in that regard. There's nothing more I'm hearing at all. There was some sort of vague, waffly stuff about how Virgil is close now. It's sort of haggling over, is it 2 years or is it 2 years plus one or what the...
Hey guys, it's Eddie Gibbs from Anfield Index here. I hope you're enjoying this podcast, and I'm sorry to call time on the show before it ends. In the current climate, it's tougher than ever before to offer podcasts for free. At Anfield Index, we produce over 75 free shows every month, which I'm confident is unparalleled in the LFC sphere. Whilst we'd love to offer everything for free, the production costs now make this impossible. That said, we don't want to follow the model of other channels and lock all of our content behind a paywall. So what we've decided to do is to continue offering every show for free, but cut that offering to 30 minutes on our longer shows. So to get all of our shows in full and enjoy the best of everything we have to offer, we really hope you'll consider supporting the channel and signing up at AnfieldIndexPro.com. For about the price of 1 cup of coffee, you'll get every podcast in full with 0 ads. You'll also get access to our LFC VIP community, where you can enjoy live podcasts, engage with our podcasters, and chat with other Reds in real time. So that website again, AnfieldIndexPro.com. Join today.
This podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.